Welcome to this demonstration of SAP Identity Management add-on for self-service called IdM UX by ROIABLE. The add-on is going to solve the common problem of the user interface, which is quite outdated with SAP Identity Management. And what you see on the screen is the existing standard user interface, which is based on WebDimpro. Automatically, in the different menus, what you see open is the self-service tab, where you see the available tasks for the currently logged in user. And the standard tasks which are available after the installation of SAP Identity Management are change on data and request new row. Let's look quickly through them. Using the change on data, an employee is able to change the data according to a certain set of rules and certain setup of the UI, which we can see also later during this demonstration. And currently there are three different tabs which are configured: one for general attributes, one for settings, and one for password questions. Okay, let's go back and check the other one. The other UI is used to request a new row. Currently we can look for the rows which are already assigned, and we can also look for new rows. And if we find a proper row, we can pick it and add it to the other side. Then of course validity is requested. We can provide a reason: please add this row, and clicking on add, it appears as a new status and we can submit it for approval. So those two UIs are part of the standard SAP IdM user interface. With the new SAP IdM UX by ROIABLE add-on, it's actually possible to have a very user-friendly experience when it comes to SAP Identity Management without having to change your configuration and your setup for your tasks. So what happens, and what you see right now, is let's say a cockpit, a launchpad, where all your self-service tasks are listed exactly the same way like they were in the standard IdM user interface. So what we see here is again the change on data task and the request new row. Let's look quickly inside how they look like. So the change on data, as you see, consists of the exactly same fields as in the WebDimpro user interface, but they are already rendered with Fiori and SAP UI5. And of course, what you can do, you see the difference. You can either scroll through those fields, or you can actually use this navigation here, which points you to the right place to check for the different attributes. Otherwise, everything behaves and looks the same. We can pick different drop downs, or we can even go to the value help and look for a certain key which we would like to change, and then pick that key. Additionally, we have added a nice description below which gives you an idea about what kind of key you have selected. Going back and opening the request new row, again Fiori SAP UI5 interface is presented to you, which works more or less exactly the same like in WebDimpro. You can search for your existing access, and the difference here is that you can immediately actually browse through the access, because the direct assignment is your MX row admin, and all the indirect assignments are listed below. If you want, you can of course request a new row using this plus sign, search for those rows, and we can pick one, let's say function 2, add. We have to provide a validity, and again the reason which we have seen before. please add this row. As you can see, the newly added function is available in the list and is here with the expected validity of 29th of August till the 30th of August with status new. The self-service add-on is not only about the standard tasks which are available from the standard SAP IdM, but actually it applies to any kind of self-service task. So let's see how we can actually enable custom self-service tasks and see how those reflect in the Launchpad. The self-service add-on is not only about the standard tasks which you see on the screen, but also can be used for any kind of custom tasks you have already created or configured within the standard SAP IdM console. So let's jump now into console and see how we can enable two custom tasks and how this is going to reflect in the Launchpad. Now we are in the SAP Identity Management console within the Eclipse environment, and as you have seen, we have created new packages, and one of the packages contains our new forms which I would like to enable. They are called password reset and maintain working hours. So let's open those two. We see the password reset is disabled right now, and that's also the reason why it's not visible in the cockpit. We can see what it includes. Actually, it includes 3 attributes with the display name, MS key value, and the password field. And as you can see, the password field is set to mandatory, the other two are read-only. So obviously this UI, once enabled, will give us the possibility to change a password for the particularly logged-in user. Very important, in order to see it under the self-service, then we have to also define that the logged-in user should be in the relation self. Okay, so let's enable it and save. And then we are also going to enable our second UI, which I have created just before that. And this UI again is disabled. I'll just enable it, and then we'll go through the attributes. So it contains attributes, again, display name and MS key value in read-only format, and then it contains 2 sections with time zone and time format, and a section where the person that is logged in can maintain their start and end date of their working time. Again, access control, self, very important in order to be available in the new Launchpad of the self-service. Now we're back at the Launchpad, and I'm going to just refresh. We see automatically the new service tasks have appeared, and as we have enabled them in the console, we have the password reset and the working hours. Let's look inside. The password reset contains the fields which we have defined, containing the display name, unique ID in read-only mode, and the password and the confirm password field for changing my password. So I can just type my new password and submit. Okay, what we see also is not only that the UI behaves the same, but actually all validations of the form and everything that it contains inside is also taken over. So I mistyped my password, and that's why I have to type it again, and this error notifies me about that. So let's try again. Oh, now we see something else, that actually I have typed my password correctly this time, but the password needs to be at least 6 characters. So even more complex validations are taking place. So let's try that again. Okay, finally my password is correct, and then the provisioning will start momentarily to the target systems. Let's go back and look at our new UI, the working hours. Okay, here, as you remember, we have created some sections, and those are within the time zone, And here I have some value helps I can look for. I'm in the Eastern European zone, so let's pick this one right now. And then we have also different time formats. 24 hours looks good. And then I can maintain some hours. Here those don't seem to look right, so I'll pick 12 until 6. Okay, I'll submit that. And again, this is something that's already done and available within the task. Now, in order to see how this change reflected in the old user interface, I'm going to simply click refresh here also. And as you see, the new tasks appeared here also. So you see, this is absolutely standard IDM functionality. And let's look how they behave here. Of course, we expect absolutely the same behavior. The user interface is in WebImpro, but the validations which we had are exactly the same. Let's open the working hours. Again, absolutely the same. Apart from the improvements which were done in the new UI, everything is exactly as it was configured in the task. As you well know, in order to access this cockpit, you have to use the /IDM after the server name. And in order to access the new launchpad, you have to use /IdM UX. Thank you for your time and looking forward to see you also in the next demos. I will demonstrate you shortly also how you can change your own data within the new UI and also look for a new manager. Normally the manager is not something you can pick, but this time we have opened this control and actually you are able to define your own manager. So you can look for different persons, pick one and then add it as your own manager. You're also able to change your picture, and let's look for one. And once we change the picture and submit, okay, our identity has changed. And if we go back and refresh, our new picture is displayed on the top.